Happy New Year, everybody. What a year this is going to be. 2024. In about a month from now, the Beatles will be celebrating 60 years from the Ed Sullivan Show. Can you believe it? I was just a little lad. But today's guest is one of my favorite rock artists. She's a worldly person. She shares love everywhere and respect to everybody. Please welcome, as my guest on the second time, and it's long overdue, the great Janet Lloyd Davis. How are you?
Oh, thank you. What a great opening. Thank you. It's an honor.
I'm so glad that you're here.
Oh, thank you. I am too. It has been a long time.
It has been a long time. So we're gonna talk a little bit about. I know you've been busy.
Yeah.
And I know you do some really beautiful things. You've been doing some beautiful things. We'll talk. I want to first talk about Earth to the Table.
Oh, thank you.
And I definitely want to talk about, of course, your great band, the Just Project, you know, and
yeah, baby.
Yeah, they are. You guys are really good, and it's always a pleasure. I like to say hello to John, your husband. Hello, John.
Love you, John.
I got your beautiful wife here tonight, so that's really great.
And hello to Victoria. Sorry to miss you.
That's great. Thank you. So, tell me about Earth to Table. I think it's kind of amazing what you're doing. I think it's your humanity, and it's beautiful. Tell me about this.
Thank you. There are quite a few people now who are involved, but unfortunately, well, I'll step forward again. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Earth to Table is named, mm-hmm. and I created the name Earth to Table mm-hmm. For the farm workers. This is to help the farm workers, who I considered very valuable.
Right.
If we didn't have
mm-hmm. the farm workers,
mm-hmm. and it doesn't matter who that farm worker is from wherever they are,
right.
we wouldn't have food on our table. So that's where I got the vision of, you know, they're toiling the soil, mm-hmm. they're packaging, they're nurturing all of our food and delivering to the markets, you know, to our grocery stores, and hence Earth to Table is what I came up with, and even with the little strawberry and mushrooms mm-hmm. on the logo. Uh-huh. And anyway, so about a year ago, actually this month, mm-hmm. We are January 2024.
That's right.
And unfortunately, the first year anniversary will be coming up very soon of the unfortunate mass shooting that had occurred in Half Moon Bay.
You're absolutely correct.
So, like a lot of people, you know, we see things that we can invest in money-wise and go, yes. Oh, I'm going to donate here, donate there. And there's so many wonderful services that we can help throughout just the world, let alone our own Bay Area. Uh-huh. Anyway, I've always been an advocate for the farm workers, uh-huh. and I work with farm workers every day, actually.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't know that,
wow.
but I do.
Mm-hmm.
I work shoulder to shoulder with them.
Mm-hmm.
And where this is at the stables where I have my horse, mm-hmm. and also where I teach horseback riding, for example. Mm-hmm. So that's another side thing that a lot of people might not know that I do.
You're a horse whisperer.
And it actually, kind of a segue here, but it actually helps people who have special needs. And so I've always been about helping people and that kind of thing, and sharing whatever I have.
Right.
So anyway, when the mass shooting happened, I decided, I don't want to just donate to the Dolores Horta Foundation or what have you.
Exactly.
I want to do something else. So I called my friend, mm-hmm. Who lives in Half Moon Bay.
Right.
And and we've done many shows together.
Yes.
Okay, produced many shows together, local shows. And so anyway, through this conversation I had, you know what, I want to do a show. And he says, let's do it. And then through that same conversation, I said, you know what, I don't want to do just at a little club. I want to do something bigger than that. This is bigger. And of course, you know, we're both kind of brainstorming. And I'm driving, you know, and so anyway, that's what it came. It came out of that knee-jerk reaction that I wanted to do more.
Wow.
And so Earth to Table is a educational event that we have educational speakers.
Okay.
And like we did our very first event, I'm so excited that it was last September, only about 4 months ago. It was very, very successful. It was at the Guild Theater in Menlo Park. And we had the Dolores Huerta Foundation that we hosted. Alas, they are in Half Moon Bay, and Puente, they are in Pescadero. And so we are actually, we had them come and speak to help educate. And then basically Earth to Table, that was one. We have Earth to Table 2. It is a music fundraiser event.
Wow.
And so it helps bring attention. We want to draw people's interest, not only, oh, it's for the farm workers, but with the musicians, the artists that are in the area. And I actually have a poster. Could I unwrap it?
Sure, that'd be great.
That was actually the September show. And what it is actually by the way, the artist who put the poster together, he did a really great job.
We can hold it together.
Yeah. And, anyway, the artists that are returning, by the way, is Malo, Richard Bean, Suavecito, and Juan Escovedo and his All-Stars. Also, the Just Project, which is my band. And we have not confirmed some of the other talent yet. The speakers we're still going to have, again, yay, is Abel Sanchez, who has been a major advocate for, with Cesar Chavez. There's a lot of history with the people that we have that are helping. Thank you. And we will, again, this was the last year's show, but it does help, you know, give a little bit of focus that this will be happening again. We're very excited. We also had, which was a really cool late addition, was the NFL alumni.
Oh, wow.
NFL alumni.
Came to this event.
They had an event, so what they did is they did a silent auction.
Wow.
They brought signed memorabilia that people could purchase.
Oh.
Yes, and they had the trophy.
The Super Bowl trophy?
Yeah! So, yeah. So I actually got to hold it, and it was real special because they had it on a little display, and anyone who came by and talked to actually Dave August, he put it together, and John Pay. Thank you, John Pay. He is a 49er, and he has a Super Bowl ring, you know, so.
Wow, that's so good.
He was very gracious, and he was there, of course, supporting. And then John August, he is, and this is all still kind of new to me, but he helps organize the NFL alumni in the Bay Area. And they have an office in Redwood City. So anyway, they were able to sell enough memorabilia. Okay. Later, we had received a check, Earth to Table received a check of $560, and that was a percentage of what they sold.
Oh my goodness.
So that was able to be, you know, added to the farm workers.
Right.
And so with that money and the proceeds from the sales of the tickets, And of course, amazing amount of donations. Okay, we were able to pay all the bands.
Serious.
All the bands, they gave us good prices. Okay, my band was free. That was my personal
Your gift.
donation, my
Your
gift,
gift.
and their gift to Earth to Table. Okay, and then Ricky Waters, he
The
was
great
also
running
there.
back.
He was there, and his son, Ricky Waters Jr., and his band played. They opened up the show. They were so fun. They were really fun, and they were good. And so anyway, and then we had, talk about the bands, we had Bernal Beat. They're out of the Mission in San Francisco. Really amazing Latin jazz band.
Kicking ass.
Oh, they were
Just kicking
kicking ass.
Right.
And then it started building there. The Latin ass kick kept going up. So then it was Juan Escovedo and his all-stars. And they had their guest singer who was Tony Lindsay. Okay.
And you had stars galore.
Oh, it was great. Oh my gosh. And the green room. Oh my gosh, one of the best green rooms I've ever seen in my life, and everyone was having a great time. And then, of course, was Malo, and that's Richard Bean Escovedo, and Suavecito, sorry. And oh my gosh, it was just so fun. Everybody brought their best. They sounded so wonderful. And by the way, the sound system was wonderful.
That's
the
it.
lighting was amazing.
Amazing. I've seen pictures.
The Guild Theater has been remodeled after a hiatus. And so they've only been back for about a year and a half now. They had the latest and greatest sound system. But even the audio, the soundproofing, the acoustics was amazing. So a beautiful, beautiful representation. Whoever plays there or speaks there or even have one party, just wonderful. Yeah.
So how long was this event? When did it start? And, what time did it start and how did it end?
It was like a festival, okay? And that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to do is we're growing. We're growing into, of course, we're an annual. And it started at, actual music started, the speaker started at 7. And then shortly after that, the music started, and we ran all the way to 11 o'clock.
So everybody had like a 20-minute set or something like that?
Yes. Juan Escovedo and Malo, they both, I believe, I want to say they had 45 minutes, if not an hour, and the other bands had about 5 songs or a handful of songs. And then of course the very, very important is our speakers who actually opened the show and educated. And we had Juanita Chavez.
His wife, Caesar.
Daughter.
His daughter.
Dolores was invited.
She didn't come, or
she was already booked.
Oh.
Long time, because they get booked out, in a long time frame, because they're very, very busy. Dolores, though, oh my gosh, I got to have a selfie with her. At the San Mateo County Fair.
Okay.
And the security and Abel Sanchez and his band was playing, and so she was there supporting. And then it was on Farm Workers Day at the San Mateo County Fair last June, and so I was there. I wanted to just absorb as much as I could. And I knew she was going to be there, but I missed her speaking earlier. But I wanted to still at least see the music of Abel Sanchez. They were amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Anyway, I saw her and I walked over and I immediately introduced myself. She was behind a security area with bodyguards and the whole thing.
Sure.
She puts her her hand on the arm of one of the security guards because he was trying to whisk her away, and she wanted to talk to me. Her was very subtle. And so I got my selfie. I told her who I was, and she recognized what I was saying,
And what you
that
do.
was, and I was like, oh, that was such a thrill.
It is a thrill.
Yeah.
You know, people, you know, it's funny that you're talking about farm workers. So as a little boy, and my brother and I and my sister, we would always go to Monterey. And while we'd go through Monterey, we're going through Watsonville and Salinas, my father would always point out to us, he says, you know what the most important people are here in our country and in California? He goes, it's those people right there. He was also a friend of Caesar. Chavez, he helped him. He was a Teamster for Local 70.
Oh, yes.
So he was a person that actually advocated for them to get their union. Bobby Kennedy also helped, Caesar.
Absolutely.
But every time we'd actually go there, he says, don't forget those people. How ironic, 40-something years later, I'm talking to one of my favorite persons that I've played state shows with, and she's doing this, and she's doing it called Earth to Table. What a great thing you have started. Doesn't it make you feel really just whole, just better?
It does, and what is very rewarding as talking to other people and how they want to be involved. So when I had approached Juan Escovedo and his camp, they were just all over it. And when we had approached Richard Bean, they were all over it. Richard and I had met actually some years ago at an awards show, and I was actually nominated for Best Rock Vocalist in the Bay Area, and this is out in Sacramento. And so I got to see him, and then he actually got to sing Suavecito. But anyway, so there was a little bit of a connection there, only by mere accident, you know. But anyway, they've always been, and Santana, and I love Latin music, you know. So
it gets you going.
Oh my gosh, I mean, so anyway, they are very embedded, these bands, and they want to contribute and support and do what they can to help their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, just their community. That's what they want to do, and it's a privilege that we get to work together because we're all kind of championing each other. You know,
it's very important because we live in a world that's so strange and so violent. Something what you're doing is such a mammoth situation where you're sending out all these great vibes, all this stuff, because everybody should help everybody else. It doesn't matter if they're Latin or they're rock, they're blues, jazz, whatever. Everybody has some kind of thing to deliver. You delivered something that people like. I seen some pictures of the stage presentation with the blue lights and all of how the filters were shooting all over. Just a beautiful thing, and then have Ricky Waters, one of the great running backs in the NFL, and then his son's playing. I think it's just fabulous what you're doing. You got a big heart, my dear.
Oh, thank
you.
And
and what you're a very sensitive person, but the thing here is your sensitivity. Other people gravitate to that, and they see your beauty, what you're doing, because not everybody could do what you could do, because you have that spiritual soul that you have to make things better for all.
Oh, thank you.
You know,
thank you.
It's not about Janet Davis. It's about how she sees the world, how she wants to make it better, and you do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And you know, I'm going to put a little side note. We tried to get Richard Beam on our show.
Oh,
I've talked to Richard on the phone. And that's been years ago, but I definitely want to have Richard on the show. And
get him on here.
He'll be a great, and you know, he's Malo.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean, that's just think about those guys.
Oh, so we just celebrated New Year's Eve with Malo. Okay, just so happened because I love him so much. Sean and I went to see him. They played so many original pieces. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I remember that.
Oh my gosh. And the band members,
They're
they
tight.
are, oh my gosh. And he had some guest artists, and I mean, they're so good. And,
They're great.
And it's wonderful that we still, here in the Bay Area, have these amazing musicians and bands.
Everywhere.
Like Malo, like Juan Escovedo. Pete Pops, he's still performing.
Every day down in LA and everywhere.
I'm hoping to have him on the
Sheila?
show. Oh, that would be like, I'd be like fainting.
So you know Sheila Richardson.
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, you know why Sheila
She's like my big sister.
Okay, you know why Escovedo named Sheila after Sheila Richardson.
What?
Her and the Escovedo families, and Augie Caraway and Patty Caraway, they have known each other since they've been kids. It's absolutely amazing. I played with the Escovedo brothers when they played at Sanborn Park on Fruitvale.
Talented.
Back in the day, I was like 13, 14. I'm playing with these guys, and they're just doing all
they're
this little
so
thing with the timbales.
amazing.
It's really amazing. Oakland was a very spirited place, and then you have Little Mexico or wherever you want to call it in Fruitvale area. And that's where I grew up. I grew up in Oakland, and it was a great place. But Richard Beam and Malo, that was the thing about what you just did. Really, you did like almost like a Bill Graham did. Bill Graham grabbed people, and he knew there was talent. So you got Santana, you got Malo, all these Azteca, all these great bands playing. That's what you kind of did. You kind of brought all these bands together, and you made it. I believe music is like a spiritual thing.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
You know, you get lost in it. You're playing on stage. People go, "Why you close your eyes, man? I'm focusing on something. You just do what you got to do."
Yeah.
But what you did is great. Really great, and I applaud you, and so will the audience. But
thank you.
I want to change it a little bit because I would like to talk about what's the Just Project doing now.
My band.
Yeah, it is your band. So what are they doing?
Thank you. Well, we are an original progressive hard rock band.
Right.
And we do covers as well. But when we do covers, we choose what we think are iconic covers, and we rearrange them. And we really put a different, what we think, and we've been told by our fans, we put a different edge, a different presentation.
Most definitely.
And we make it our own.
Yes.
And people just love it. So having said that, we had 4 songs that we played at the Earth to Table 1. Okay?
What did you play?
Well, 3 of them were original songs that I had written. Basically the melodies and the lyrics. And helped a lot with arrangements with Robert Barry.
Robert Barry. Boy, you just said a big name there too.
Yeah. And he's still my producer, and Tom Duell. But anyway, so we did those 3, and they were my favorite. So Reach, it's a song of hope. Okay.
Very good song.
Getting emotional already.
Yeah.
And There's a Place. It is. It took a while to get it to actually form the way I wanted it, but it is again a song of hope. There's a place, a special place where we gather. Okay. And then Rock Angel, that's me.
That's
okay.
You.
So
Thanks
because of Diane Derringer, and she gave me this ring.
Yeah, yes.
I was hoping I'd be able to talk about her, and here we are. I followed her in the 70s when she was in Rocks in Japan.
Thank
and
you.
I was in a band at the time called Egypt, original band. And so being a female front person, I was very influenced by Diane because she was the whole band from the Bay Area. So anyway, fast forward, years decades go by, and I had been out of music for a while, and I'm like, dang it, I want to get back into it. So anyway, I started writing, got together with Robert Berry, and wrote Rock Angel, and it was influenced by Diane, okay? And we had never met, okay? We had never met. But in any case, then the other song that we did, we thought, okay, we're going to do one of our iconic covers. And because we're in the Bay Area, I thought, okay, we all thought, okay, this is going to be the best cover song to do for the audience because they're from San Francisco Bay Area. And it is a Jefferson Airplane song.
What is it? What was it?
Oh my gosh, now I just went blank. Oh my gosh. Give me a second. Darn it, I hate that when all of a sudden you just go blank.
Yeah, I just see the
White
picture of
Rabbit.
Grace.
Oh my goodness.
You guys are playing that.
We played White Rabbit.
Iconic.
Oh my gosh, how can I even forget? But in any case, we really put this really cool psychedelic, the guys, Jason Gerhardt is my guitar crush. Oh my gosh.
Jason, you're great.
We've been together for 6 years now.
Mention your whole band.
Okay, yes, and then my bass crush is Glenn Douglas.
Glenn,
amazing.
I love you, brother. Love you, brother. Love you both, Jason, Glenn.
Yeah, and then our percussionist, our drummer, is Tony Colombini. And
great job, Tony.
Yeah, he actually lives here in Hayward, by the way.
He?
Yeah. But anyway, so this lineup has been together for 2 years now, and we used to have keys. We actually had 2 keys,
Yes,
and
Pamela.
another guitarist.
Give Pamela Charles.
Pamela Charles Arthur.
Give her a shout out. You got to come on my show, Pamela.
Yeah, get her back on here.
Yeah.
And actually Brian Yoshida, he has moved on as well. But you know, there's always all these connections, and Pamela and I are girlfriends, you know. So, and she's definitely willing to come back and do special events with us and so forth. She's amazing. But anyway.
Amazing.
When we did White Rabbit, I got to tell you something. It was really received well.
Right.
But then, what was really a kick in the pants is that more recently, when at the New Year's Eve show to see Malo,
yes,
the different band members were coming up to me and you know, in between their sets and stuff. They were hunting me down. Like, weren't you at the, you know, and we're talking, he goes, you did White Rabbit, you did that Jefferson, oh, that was so good. Oh, and they were going on, and I thought, okay, I'll take it.
That's such an iconic song, especially from San Francisco, how that all did, and by you singing it, it brings back memories.
Yes, it does.
Feelings.
Yes, meaningful times maybe for people. And anyway, so, and I want to kind of get back a little bit to Diane a little bit.
Sure.
She just had her birthday. She is not with us now. She passed away, gosh, it's 2 years. And she had sent this ring to me.
It's a beautiful ring.
It is gorgeous. I couldn't believe it. She said, oh, I'm going to send you a little bit of jewelry. And I'm like, okay. And she had been a guest with us with also Earthquake. We did a show. Right. And so that was really, really fun. But anyway, we hooked up because of you. So I see her interview on your show, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, so I'm on Facebook with you, and then and she caught the conversation, and she friended me, and we hit it off like I can't even tell you. We just hit it off. We were like this right from the start.
Right.
And
she was a beautiful lady.
I mean, decades later, and so we really spent almost every morning talking on the phone. I would call her, she would call me. You know,
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad that you talked about Diane, because we're getting ready to close the show. How fast things go, right?
Yes.
But you filled it all up. I want to thank you just as a personal friend and as a fellow musician. You really, really got a big heart. You help people.
Oh, thank
You
you.
do things that most people don't even want to do. You make it happen. You make it happen. You continue to do that. You got a heart of love for everybody, all people. Especially right now, you're doing with this farm workers thing. It's a beautiful thing, because without them, we wouldn't have really good food.
It's absolutely true.
And people forget about that. But I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Sue Joy, my producer.
Thank you, Sue Joy.
Who also is an Emmy winner. We can't forget about that. And I like to thank everybody. I like to thank Janet. Thank you so much for being
thank
on.
you.
You got to come
Thank
on
you so
again.
much. I love it.
And the Just Project and Blue Voodoo got to do a show
Oh,
together.
yes,
So in
definitely.
the future, good night. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Make it your best New Year. And as we normally always do, we always give a kiss to everybody, and God bless everybody. Peace and love.
Peace and love.